Welcome to Rajya Sabha TV. You're watching a special show on Parliamentary Standing Committee. I'm Amritanshu Rai. In this show, we bring to you in-depth coverage of reports by the Standing Committee on the functioning of ministries and departments. Today, we bring to you a critical appraisal of the institution of Sainik schools by the Standing Committee on Defence. Are Sainik schools losing relevance? Well, the Standing Committee on Defence report on a critical review of Sainik school reveals that the students enrolled in Sainik schools are losing enthusiasm about joining the defence forces.
अंतिम चरण के लिए निर्माण वन।
The Rashtriya Military Schools, Rashtriya Indian Military College and 24 Sainik schools are considered to be nurseries that prepare students for entry into the coveted National Defence Academy. But the Standing Committee on Defence report suggests that being a student at a Sainik school does not guarantee an entry into NDA.
Our country, we need more officers like commandos, like other categories. Once students will come from beginning itself from Sainik school, then they will go to good education. These people will be interested, and then tomorrow this will go for like commandos, officers and all. It is a very, very important thing.
देखिए, उसका सबसे बड़ा कारण तो यह है कि जो सैनिक स्कूल में स्टूडेंट्स जाते हैं उनकी एप्टीट्यूड का कोई टेस्ट नहीं लिया जाता है, क्योंकि स्कूल तो प्राइवेट हज़ारों हैं, लेकिन आप अगर सैनिक स्कूल में भेज रहे हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं सेना का मनोभाव होना चाहिए ना कि हमको सेना में जाना है.
These are very important to maintain, to ensure that we get more students, more youngsters into NDA. Because third point was about the Sainik schools only providing 7% of the students into as NDA cadets.
Standing Committee has expressed concern over the deteriorating performance of Sainik school students in National Defence Academy and National Naval Academy examinations. According to the report tabled in the Parliament on 22nd of August, in 2008, of the 49 students who passed out Rashtriya Indian Military College RIMC, 38 joined in NDA. In 2009, of the 33 students who passed out of RIMC, 28 joined in NDA. 2010 reflected the same trends. Of the total 50 students in RIMC, only 32 found a place for themselves in NDA. Of the 135 students who appeared from Rashtriya Military School RMS in 2008, only 22 could make it to merit list of National Defence Academy NDA. Of the 168 students that passed out of RMS in 2009, only 30 were selected. In 2010, of the 149 students in RMS, only 31 were selected. Interestingly, out of the 868 students who passed out of Sainik school in 2008, only 181 could find a place in NDA merit list. Of the 938 students that passed out of Sainik schools in 2009, only 202 could make it to the NDA. And of 962 students in Sainik schools in 2010, only 175 could make it to NDA list.
Now for Sainik school reason, students have to study in Sainik school, they have to go for NDA, then they have to serve for the country. Now most of the students drop overs in the middle. Government of India has to thought, and the Sainik school also, management board also has to think.
पढ़ने में तो कई लोग तेज होते हैं, सैनिक स्कूल में एडमिशन हो गया, लेकिन सैनिक वाली एप्टीट्यूड नहीं है, उसकी तरफ झुकाव नहीं है, टेस्ट नहीं है. इसलिए होता क्या है कि या तो 10th पास 9th पास करके लोग दूसरे स्कूलों में चले जाते हैं, अपना लाइन पकड़ लेते हैं, कोई मेडिकल में चला गया, कोई किसी में चला गया, लेकिन एनडीए में वो नहीं जाते हैं क्योंकि उनकी एप्टीट्यूड नहीं है, वो मिलिट्री की तरफ जाना नहीं चाहते हैं.
The committee highlighted that they also highlighted that there is a dropout rate after 10th class. So the committee has recommended that the teachers should be made, should be trained more.
The committee was also alarmed at the increasing number of dropouts from Sainik schools. According to the report, in 2008, of the 885 students decided to leave Sainik schools without completing their studies. In 2009, of the 12,500 students that were enrolled in Sainik schools, 843 dropped out of midway. In 2010, the number of dropouts witnessed a jump. Of the 12,800 students, more than 1,000 dropped out without completing studies.
Suppose any students drop over with a valid reason only, otherwise it is a mandatory, they have to go for NDA and go for military services or government services.
सबसे पहले तो सैनिक स्कूलों में एडमिशन के समय बच्चों के टेस्ट जो उसमें एप्टीट्यूड उनका टेस्ट लिया जाए कि साहब ये सेना की तरफ जाना चाहता है कि नहीं चाहता है, क्योंकि आज एनडीए में या सेना में सेना के जो उच्च पदों पर काफ़ी रिक्तियां हैं। अब एनडीए में जितने जा पाते हैं उसके बाद कोई सेना का अफसर मिलता नहीं है। इसलिए आज सैनिक स्कूलों को इनकी वर्किंग में, इनकी फंक्शनिंग में परिवर्तन लाना चाहिए।
The NDA exam should be made mandatory. A health checkup should be done. All the fees will be paid by the Defence Ministry. So you see the net result of it, that you will be decreasing a financial burden on the poor students who are studying over there, whereby the benefit would be that there will be more people willing to join these Sainik schools, and also there will be more people joining the NDA.
Committee report mentions various reasons for the high dropout rate. Some of them are outdated syllabus, lack of quality of infrastructure, improper funding and in-service training, and long vacations that are permitted in the academic calendar between final exams and the NDA entrance examination. While studying the reasons for high dropout rate, the committee found that most of the parents were not helpful of their wards making it to NDA, so they withdraw their children for better career prospects. The parents also are concerned about rampant cases of ragging and medical facilities provided by the schools.
By the time you have to take the good people there, who has the teaching staff and all, it should be very quality people and the government, and any politician should not be go for interfere and posting for the teachers, transfer the teachers and all. We have to good teachers, then only more students will be interested.
स्टैंडिंग कमेटी में भी जब अफसरों को बुलाया जाता है तो सब कुछ तो उन्हीं लोग को आगे फाइल बढ़ाने पर होता है। इसलिए ये लोकतंत्र की कमी है कि जब इतनी मेहनत से रिपोर्ट बनती है तो उस पर अनुपालन होना चाहिए, उसको इम्प्लीमेंटेशन उनका होना चाहिए।
That end of the day, what we want is that the whole purpose of opening a Sainik school is that the children who have studied in Sainik school will be able to pass the NDA entrance exam, and whereby they will go on and serve the nation.
In order to improve the overall quality of Sainik school system, the standing committee has recommended a funding system similar to that of a central university, upgradation of syllabus, teaching methods and infrastructure. The committee has also recommended roping in of experts from field of education, services and NCERT for better results. The committee also favoured a review of Sainik school boards so as to include members from IMA, NDA and retired generals. The standing committee has asked the Sainik schools to work on raising the quality of the candidates.
While showing deep concern over the higher dropout rate among the Sainik school students, the standing committee has suggested various measures to improve the Sainik school system. These include the optimization of resources and training. If implemented, these suggestions can bring a drastic change to the entire Sainik school system. With cameraman Virendra, this is Zagam Murtaza for Rajya Sabha TV.
The standing committee has indicted the government for the deteriorating standards in the Sainik schools, especially in the deteriorating number of students who are being able to make it to the National Defence Academy and the National Naval Academy. To talk more on the issue, I am joined by my colleague Zagam. Zagam, what has the committee said on this issue?
Actually, the Sainik schools are considered to be the nurseries for the National Naval Academy examination and the National Defence Academy examination. But the committee has observed that during the last few years, the numbers of students appearing in these exams is going down. And especially in comparison to the Rashtriya Indian Military Colleges and the Rashtriya Indian Military School, the success rate is very low. And the committee is deeply concerned about the issue, and the committee has suggested that the improvement should come and the government should take the measures to take more students to these examinations. Yes, Amratanshu.
We spoke to Sugata Roy, member Standing Committee on Defence, and began by asking him the importance of the system of Sainik schools.
If we want to get more people into the defence forces, if we want to get more people in the Navy, then it's necessary to build up a supporting structure. The supporting structure is that of the Sainik school, from where students can go into the National Defence Academy and on to the armed forces. And basically, Sainik schools, even those who don't go into the armed forces, they instill a basic sense of discipline and system among the students, which is very much preferred in today's unruly situation which obtains in many campuses. In all states, there is a great demand for central schools in general. As a MP, there is a Kendriya Vidyalaya in my constituency, and there is a great clamour, even from people who are not employees of the central government, to get their children into the Kendriya Vidyalaya. Similarly, there are Navodaya Vidyalaya in states, but that is only one per district. So, if more Sainik schools are set up, we shall get easy recruits to the armed forces, disciplined and prepared recruits, and we shall also build up disciplined young men for the purpose of the country.
We have seen in the last few years that there is a huge dropout rate and students are not taking the NDA. Sir, what is the main concern and what is the recommendation of the committee to improve this pattern? Sir, there is one more recommendation of the committee, that the central government should fund the Sainik school just on the pattern of the Kendriya Vidyalayas. What is the main intention behind this recommendation, sir?
So, states are already running large number of schools in their own state. For instance, in our state, the full salary allowances of teachers are paid by the state government, and say there are more than 7,000 secondary schools in our state, more than 50,000 primary schools in the state. So, states are already burdened in the matter of education. So, if there are more Kendriya Vidyalaya, more Navodaya Vidyalayas and more Sainik schools, the burden will be less and better quality of education will be imparted. And especially keeping in view the requirement of our armed forces for recruitment of people, especially in the officers' cadre, we should encourage more Sainik school, and the committee has rightly recommended.
It's time for us to enter into a break. When we return, we'll tell you about the recommendations of the Standing Committee on reinforcing the Sainik school system. Welcome back. The Standing Committee has recommended to the government to remove the compliance hurdles in opening new Sainik schools. The committee has also pointed out to the poor management of the existing Sainik schools.
There is a consensus among standing committee members to increase the number of Sainik schools. The committee wants at least one Sainik school to each state and union territory. Committee has asked the central government to take suo motu action and act fast on pending proposals from the state governments. The committee has emphasized that Sainik schools have a potential to bring in quality public school education within the reach of a common man. The committee feels Sainik schools can play a crucial role in removing regional imbalances in the officers' cadre of armed forces.
Now, in the entire country, there are 24 Sainik schools in 21 states. After independence, Sainik schools has come in 1960s. Then, till now, there are 24 schools only in the entire country. There are so many students and young youth is coming day by day.
आज इसको रेशनलाइज करने की ज़रूरत है. मान लीजिए उत्तर प्रदेश बड़ा प्रदेश है, फिर भी नॉर्थ ईस्ट के स्टेट्स हैं, झारखंड है, छत्तीसगढ़ है. अब सब जगह पर पॉपुलेशन को हिसाब देखकर उस हिसाब से स्कूल खोले जाने चाहिए. अब यूपी में अगर 10 हो जाए तो क्या हर्ज है.
There are many states wherein there are no Sainik schools. Take the example of Uttar Pradesh. It's a huge state and it has no Sainik school. So this has to be looked into. And you have another 2 states of northeast, and in Delhi state you don't have a Sainik school. So these are very important
The committee has also recommended that Sainik schools should be opened up for girls. The committee expressed its dissatisfaction with the inputs provided by the Defence Ministry on the issue of opening Sainik schools for girls on the ground that there is no room for girls in National Defence Academy. The committee argued that developed countries like US allow female officers to take combat duties, so why can't the central government create necessary infrastructure in this regard? The committee has asked the government to initiate policy on the matter.
Now Sainik school there is only for boys. What is the problem for girls? We have to open the schools for girls also for every state. Now see equivalently, previously in the military only male were there. Now all over the world we are saying, even the females also we want. But that's why reason I am telling, we have to open the, government has to open the Sainik schools for the girls.
ये स्कूलों की संख्या बढ़ाई जाए। आप अभियान विद्यालय में इतना खर्च कर रहे हैं, अब ये भी तो एक शिक्षा का ही काम है, इसलिए आम का आम और गुठली का दाम। आपको सैनिक भी मिलेंगे, सेना के अफसर भी मिलेंगे और डिसिप्लिन भी आएगी स्टूडेंट्स में।
The burden has to be shared at least in terms of providing land where it is accessible to ensure that the school really functions in a good way. I mean, if it is given in such a place wherein the school even is open, it will not serve the purpose.
The committee also questioned the existing funding policy, which makes state government's decision to open up schools impractical. The committee observed that the existing policy dissuaded states from taking a proactive role in opening Sainik schools. Under the present system, states will have to bear entire capital, including that on building, furniture and recruiting costs. The committee has asked the centre to take upon itself the entire expenditure as it does in the case of Kendriya Vidyalaya.
Total overall see the budget for Sainik school, now the system is sharing basis state and defence. For this small budget, defence have a very big budget, only defence will take, then the control also will be very good. And my view I am telling, this entire Sainik schools only defence will go for a budget, then it will be good.
क्योंकि अल्टीमेटली सैनिक स्कूलों में आप सेना में भर्ती कर रहे हैं। सेना भारत की सरकार का एक अंग है, मुख्य अंग है, इसलिए आप जब सेना पर इतना खर्च करते हैं तो उनके जो कारिंदे हैं, जो काम करने वाले हैं, कल उन्हीं के हाथों में वो हथियार जाएंगे।
It's a very reasonable suggestion because the whole defence expenditure, it's a huge expenditure. And if the Defence Ministry takes up establishment of one Sainik school, that the cost will come up to between 50 to 60 crores. The land will be provided to state government. So this is not going to be a huge financial burden on the Defence Ministry.
The committee observed that if only 20% of the students qualify in the merit list of NDA, then what happens to the rest of the students? It recommends that the government should keep the records relating to who qualified and who did not qualify in the NDA entrance. The committee recommended that the government should approve the application of new schools on priority basis. It should endeavour to meet the manpower demand. Surplus cantonment lands should be used to set up a new school, and MPs should be encouraged to appropriate funds from their MP led quota for this cause.
There is a cantonments. There is no problem for the school buildings, education for land and all. Defence has to thought this process and allot some places for the schools. It is not much cost also. Then after that only infrastructure. Infrastructure is a permanent asset for the military.
बच्चों को पढ़ते समय ही मिलिट्री के प्रतिष्ठान दिखाने चाहिए। बड़े बड़े मिलिट्री अफसर जाकर उनको मिलिट्री के बारे में बताएं कि क्या आपको देश की सेवा करने में ये इसमें क्या।
I hope that once the action taken report is given to the standing committee, the majority of these recommendations will be accepted by the Defence Ministry, and these are perfectly very reasonable recommendations has been given by the standing committee.
Committee has asked the government to address regional disparities while opening new Sainik schools. The committee stressed on the need for more Sainik schools in popular states like Uttar Pradesh.
The standing committee wants more Sainik schools. The committee has suggested opening up of a new Sainik schools in each and every state and a union territory. Also, the committee wants the schools for the girls. If implemented, these will surely ease up the demand from the armed forces for the trained cadets. With cameraman Virendra, this is Zagam Murtaza for Rajya Sabha TV.
The The standing committee has recommended opening of at least one Sainik school in every state and union territory. To talk more on this, I am joined by my colleague Zagam. Zagam, what has the committee said about the pending applications of the state governments?
On the opening of new Sainik schools, the committee is in favor that the central government should take a sumoto action to open the new schools, and the pending backlog of the applications that has come from the states, that the central government should clear them. And also the funding pattern. The committee feels that the central government should bear entire funding of these new Sainik schools, because the defense budget is very much high, and the opening of a new school just need 50 or 60 crores. So why shouldn't the defense ministry should open the new school instead of putting the burden on the state government? Yes, Amritanshu.
We spoke to Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi, member standing committee on defense, and began by asking him the suggestions to improve the system of Sainik schools.
In the report you see, after 10th, about 50 to 60% boys are leave the college or school. This is the problem. There is some reasons, there is some issues behind it, but we recommended that it is mandatory for any student who is studying in Sainik school to complete 12th and then NDA.
Your committee has recommended the ministry regarding the functioning of Sainik schools. What are the main points you find in this report?
Of course, there is a Rashtriya Military School and a Rashtriya Indian Military College. There are 5 Rashtriya Military Schools and 1 is a college. But the Sainik schools are in a different places and different states. But regional imbalances in the opening of the schools in a different places are a very serious problem. If you see, the dropout rate is 20%, but after that some military officers informed that only 7%. Despite of the 20% and 7%, I am not going to discuss the percentage, but our committee recommended 0% dropout rate.
As you have submitted your report, how much you expect from the government? How fast they will react to it?
We are expecting, because we given a very strong view and recommendation, and also we requested the government to get it done immediately.
We are now approaching the end of the show, but before we end, let me leave you with the concluding remarks of Sugata Roy, member Standing Committee on Defence.
The whole recommendation, the aim of the recommendation is to strengthen the Sainik school system. It has proved to be very efficacious, very effective in providing future cadres for the armed forces, particularly of officer rank, and the committee has believed in strengthening this Sainik school system under the Ministry of Defence, for which the expenditure will be borne by the Ministry of Defence. The Defence has already a budget of nearly 2 lakh crores. Compared to that, running a Sainik school costs only 50 crores. I think it's a good investment as far as future of defence forces is concerned.
Thank you for watching Standing Committee. I'll be back with a new issue, a new episode. Keep watching Raj Sabha TV.